Hello, and welcome to this third lecture of developing best design idea in this course on developing winning prototype. I'm Arun Singhal, your management coach and mentor with 40 years of experience in people development. So, in this section, we've been aiming to give you a good understanding of how to do the design idea development for you to develop a winning prototype, and that can help you build your business, right? And in this last lecture, you've looked at how do we start with brainstorming the inputs for the design. And in this lecture, we will look at how do we develop alternate design concepts. So we have a product that we want to deliver. We know the requirements. Now, what are the various alternative designs that we can have in terms of the raw materials, in terms of the processes that we can use to deliver the product that we have in mind? So, how do you think this can be done? How can we develop alternative design concepts? Any thoughts? So, we have product requirements as we saw in the last lecture. We have figured out using the cause and effect diagram what all do we want the product to deliver. We also have the design requirements that we have looked at, and taking that into account, we brainstorm. And now we need to see how can we develop alternate concepts that can deliver a right combination of the quality and the cost, right? So how do you think you can do that? There is a couple of techniques that you can use that. One of the techniques that is wonderfully used in this example, as I will illustrate to you, is the scamper. Scamper is an acronym for many things that you can do to find alternate solutions to a particular design that you want to look at, a particular output that you wanted. You can substitute materials, you can combine materials, combine processes, you can adopt from a different field to one field, you can modify, maximize, minimize. You can same material or product you can put to some other use, P standing for that. You can eliminate part of the product, a part of the element of the product, and make out a different option. And you can reverse or rearrange the sequence of things happening, especially in terms of the process. And these things can give you many combinations and many options for you to develop alternate design concepts, as we will see. So let's look at the example of the water purifier. What are the possible applications? What did the team do in developing alternate things in this case? In this case, they found that the normal material that is used for ultrafiltration is a polymer, right? Now, the challenge with polymer is that while it is cheap, it doesn't have that much a great life like a ceramic is. Ceramic is a lot more sturdy, lot more durable, but it costs more. So the team there developed a hybrid combination, a combination of both polymer and ceramic, which could have the property of both of this. So they substituted the polymer, which was the conventional choice, costing less, but with a shorter life and which could get affected by the chemical reactions, by another material which was more sturdy, though a little costlier, but it met the requirements. The second part of the scamper that they used was the combined concept, and which they found that the filter needed a material that can remove sediments and odor as well as microbes. So this was the combination thing that is required. Now, there was no material that they readily available. They found that the carbon removes the sediments and odor, while silica does removal of the microbes. So they did a combination of this in an inexpensive rice husk. They found that combination. It had properties of both the carbon as well as silica, and that is what the combination worked out well to find an inexpensive material that could deliver both a function. Similarly, they use the adapt model here out of the scamper in using small traces of copper and silver in filtration units. Conventionally, you use large quantities of large containers of copper and silver to do the same function, and that obviously costs you very high. So they figured out that can we adopt the same concept of copper and silver containers in small traces of copper and S. So the principle was that keeping water in copper and silver container allowed the traces to function over a period of time. So instead of using a large container, they said, can we use the traces directly? And they adopted the same technology by using trace elements of copper and silver in the filtration unit to kill germs at lower cost. Another thing that they did was they conventionally we use the water purifier use the electric power, but in view of that, this water purifier was targeted towards middle class people, limited means, and an area where the power was not easily available. They eliminated the use of power and used the gravitational flow for filtering the water. So instead of electric power, they used the gravity as a power. One more concept, the final one they could find using the scamper was the using the reverse flow of the process to retain the water in the filter by making water enter from bottom to top and exit from that. Conventionally, the water is normally in the gravity thing fills up from the top and goes down. And instead of this, since they wanted more time in the container to be retained, so they reversed the flow, and that allowed the water to rise and get out at the top, and that took longer time than water being flowing from the top. So as you see in the water purifier case, the scamper technique was wonderfully used to find alternate designs to the conventional designs by using substitute, combine, adopt, eliminate, and reverse arrangement. And you could use all the elements or some of the elements of scamper to find alternate elements. Once you have developed the alternative elements, then we could use a combination of those, as you see, using what is called morphological analysis. So in this what we do is for each of the functions, critical function 1 to 3, you develop alternate solutions, and these solutions are all very different. So solution, critical function 1 can have solution 1, 1, 21, 31, etc., etc. And then you can use a combination of this to deliver a design. And you could do multiple designs in this case. So in this case, you see in the water purifier case, we had 5 components: screening filter, trapping polishing media, coating of media, water flow direction, and ultrafiltration membrane. And we had 2 alternatives in each of the cases as used in the screen. In case of the screening filter, we could use cotton or polypropylene. For trapping and polishing media, we could use charcoal or rice husk ash. For coating, we could use silver or copper coating, or we could flow the direction in diagonal or reverse. And they use one design concept that developed by using cotton with being polishing and trapping being done by rice husk ash with coated from silver in a reverse flow, and using the hybrid polymer based ultrafiltration membrane. So that's how, using the morphological analysis, they developed one such alternative, and you can do multiple alternatives depending on how many do you need here. So what do we do, having looked at how to develop alternate design concepts? What do we do in the next module? So once we have developed the alternate design concept, we need to see what are the possible conflicts in using that design. And we will take you through that process and the tools that you can use to understand and resolve the conflicts. So thank you so much for watching this third lecture of developing a best design idea for developing a winning prototype. And I hope you continue to learn a lot of new things, continue to enjoy, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next lecture.